Hey YouTube, today we're back with another episode of Orb on the movement of the Earth. Last episode, we kind of met a new character, somebody who's very interesting, cannot believe to this day that she is the executioner's daughter. Very ironic, very cool. I love how they set up her character to be somebody who, well, it's an ongoing issue, right, with her gender, with her class, right, as well, right. It's just very, very common to this day, right, where, you know, just because somebody is talented doesn't mean that they'll be automatically accepted into the world of academics, for example, right? You know, sometimes it's hard with your background, right? That can, there might be biases against you that you have to push forward. And yeah, I think it was very interesting that they did that with her. So yeah. Also, it looks like our main characters, I guess, right now, our current main characters are going to be meeting up with her. So, yeah. It's kind of weird to call them main characters because I kind of see Jolenta as a main character now, too. I don't know. But, yeah. I'm excited for it, at the interaction. So, let's get to it, okay? Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And let's get to it. But, man, the priest looks so... so intimidating with all those scars on his face and stuff. Two grown men and his little girl, at least little in terms of her physicality. You see how he automatically assumed she had a master, right? Yeah. I mean, it is just the culture, right? She's just gonna make somebody up. Okay. Oczy. Such an interesting name. Oczy. I kind of like it. Well, at least he has I think it's that teacher, right? That we met earlier, the old man. I guess he has a reputation, right? I guess, well, I mean, I think that some of these people do get away with pursuing their academics simply because of maybe he's richer, right? Maybe he has the money to you know, escape the you know, daily religious oppression, I guess. So maybe that's what happens. But I just find it really interesting. Did he figure her out? Yeah. Look, I like it. He's smart enough to figure that out. That's crazy. Why would she get charged as being a witch? I mean, I know why, but like, it's just, it's so weird. They would just be treated as normal, like, heathens? I don't know what the heck they call them. He's complimenting her knowing that it's her. That's funny. Yo, this guy being so, I don't know, I'm cringing from his performance. He's putting up an act, right? Wow, what a jerk, man. I hate this guy. I don't, but like, it's very funny. Testing her. Dang. I guess that would be the sun, technically. I guess. Classic. Earth is at the center of the universe. No. Aristarchus. I don't know, some of these names are pretty cool, no? She's so nervous, like she feels like what they're talking about feels like she's getting a general idea that what they're trying to talk about is something very, very out there, right? And she is like, she can feels like the intention, I think. And I guess he's slowly trying to bring her into the what their theory is. Man, he's hitting her right where like it kind of affects her, right? Trying to change the rules of society. Because he can probably like infer that somebody as talented as her is probably going through a rough patch in terms of like trying to make some progression in her own life, right? Due to just societal like norms and stuff, right? Against like women, or you know, where women should stand in society, right? Plus, it's really affecting her imagination, right? Which, being an academic herself, it's really hard to not be interested. Dang. Yeah. She looked interested. You can't help but be interested, right? It's her field, right? It questions what she already knows, and like she can't help but try to find the truth, right? It's interesting that she believes. I don't know. It's super interesting. Her beliefs. She's very much like, I believe in these things. I don't know. It's very contradictory, no? But I guess that's just normal, right? Dang. Very coincidentally, like, you know, talking about her whole situation, right? And like, in terms of like what it means to be an academic, right? So, you know, a lot of this is, it's very much like she feels very terrified. It feels like there's just another level of, you know, not disrespect, but like completely like going against society, right? Societal norms. So it's of course she's terrified. Dang. Icarus. Very cool. Those are very good words. What? She got discovered by the old man so quickly. That's funny. The way you put it. Dang. I actually didn't know that was a thing. I don't know if it actually is. I don't want to get into that territory, honestly, because I honestly don't know. But if that is the case, that would explain a lot of things, I think, in terms of just religious like culture, right? It's really crazy how this goes back so far into the past. I've had this stance before, I'm not gonna lie. Like, just because something is perceived as like This is generally my belief, right? Just religion itself, I think it's a very necessary thing in society. I think that, for example, the Bible, like, it has a lot of good ideas, a lot of good ethics per se that can it's very difficult, right? Because this whole thing is a really big can of worms, but generally I think it's a good thing. It's just because, for example, God, I think God hasn't been proven to be not real, right? That is essentially the end of my argument, the end of my idea, right? It is incapable of being disproven, at least at this time, right? So yeah, I think it's a very, very big can of worms, religion. So yeah.
ご主人は何と？
主人はいません。
She admitted to it. Very nice.
ではこの回答は？
私のものです。
I love it.
では誰を紹介していただけるんです？
ピャスト博です。
あのピャスト博の施設ですか？
はい、
Okay, so what is this about?
あの方ならあらゆる資料を閲覧できる。味方につけたらこれ以上なく強い。
何を言ってるんだ。働いてるなら分かってるでしょう。彼が我々に協力するわけない。
Yeah, because it seems like he has a certain line that he's already decided not to cross, right? Which is, religion, right? He refuses to not question religion, but instead his pursuit of quote unquote truth is to be, somehow imbalanced with religion, right? So.
どういうことです？
ピャスト博は50年にわたる詳細な観測記録を持ってる。確かに。ピャスト博は誰よりも天動説を重んじてる。でも、きっとそれよりも真理を重んじてる。
Wow.
ちょっとさすがに危ないんじゃ。
Yeah, of course it's dangerous.
もし捕まっても魔女に騙されたと密告する。大方の罪をなすりつけられるだろう。
Dang.
むしろ好都合な提案かもしれん。
Okay, now I'm scared. How is this? I feel like we're in for a weird turn here, you know? It makes sense that he doesn't want his time being wasted. Very straightforward.
かつてピャスト博もその目で名を馳せた。私の人生をかけた研究が間違いだと主張するものだぞ。
Yeah. Because his thing is being aligned with the church, being aligned with this, like, in pursuit of truth, but somehow bending the truth in order so that it fits along with religion, right? That is what he does, right? Because he believes religion is the truth.
真理かもしれません。それを求めて人生を捧げたのでしょう。
Dang. Challenging his ideals, right? Wow. He's really digging deep now, huh? I think it's cool we're getting more on this guy. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool, actually. What was that? He has an interesting look. Oh, okay. I agree with the audacity, right? Yeah. Dang. I guess what he's talking about is, like, after you generate, like, the rich people who do end up getting rich, those are the real people who end up, like, accumulating their wealth. Now the problem is, like, generation after generation, the people who grow up being rich, like, they don't know what it's like to accumulate that that wealth, right? So the class of individuals is very different, in my opinion, right? Or like the individual ability is actually very different, all right?
大衆が納得しようが私には許せんことだ。
That's interesting.
だから修正して完成させる。私が一人でだ。
To me, this sounds more like because God created the world that I live in, I want to be able to represent it accurately, right? I don't want to represent like my own like ideals of what the world is. I want to present what the world is, what God has given me, and present that. At least that's what it sounds like. I could be wrong.
よし。
Very detailed notes, I assume.
優れた道具は優れた能力の人間に使われるべきだ。
That's so
早
cool.
速明日から観測を始めろ。いいか。
He saw the value in his abilities and immediately said, we got to give this guy everything we can to make sure that he can do his utmost.
与えた才能を出し惜しむな。
You see? I think I really like this man's
もうやれ。
like point
そして
of view.
否定した節穴どもに分からせてやれ。
I think that was a really, really cool backstory and a really, really interesting character that we kind of just ended up meeting. Like his point of view is very like, I think that the thing that's really interesting is that some of these characters who are who stand by religion, they stand by God, but they're the nuance of how they interpret God's, will per se, or God's like what God has given them, what their perspective on the world, on life. It is different. There's this, the nuance is very different, right? But like there's a lot of similarities, right? So it's so cool to just see that, and it's the show just does a really good job with it, to just show you that even though the characters, you can just say, oh, they are scientists who also believe in God, very, very two-dimensional, but like there's a lot of nuance there, which is really cool. He's still making his observations, but yeah, age has caught up to him and just can't see the same way. Oh, this is him older.
君が
Wow.
ここに来てもう20年か。
This is cool. Passing down the torch, right? Thematically very on point with this show.
治療室だ。これが宇宙の正しい形だ。
Interesting.
未来を捨ててこの修正宇宙に一生をかけてきた。協力者はいない。
Man, that is a lot.
きっと真理にたどり着けるのは選ばれしただ一人だけ。では、
That is a lot.
今私に。その一人とは私ではなく君かもしれんからだ。
Oof.
長年研究していると。
That's something you that's tough to confront, right? Something that you feel like is your purpose, but what if it's not? What if that purpose doesn't only belong to you, right? And so I don't know, that seems like a really difficult thing to accept. So props to him. Wow. I love that we still get more of this guy, or like more of this backstory.
終点円が2つ。何を恐れてる。重要なのは無謀さではないか。そうだ。勇気を持って挑む。
It can be terrifying, right? Such a thing that really is just feels like it's beyond your horizons. I'm confused. What is he? Did he realize something? Did he notice something that he hadn't before?
満ちてない。
I don't know. I don't know what it is he saw.
素晴らしいひらめき
He
だと
thinks it's fundamentally wrong.
歴史を変えるものだ。
Maybe.
しかしやはり私には不相応です。
気が変わったらいつでも行ってこい。
Wow.
私が完成させる直前に行っても遅いぞ。
The man is he was very nice. At least from what I've seen.
教授、
Wow. The last moments.
わかる。私の研究を疑っていたからだろう。
そんな。
Yeah.
あれは素晴らしい。あんなに正確な宇宙見たことがない。
それを疑ったことは一度もない。
Man.
だが完成しないのだ。いくらやっても。それならまだいい。本当に恐ろしいのは、そもそもこの仮説が前提から全て間違いだった場合だ。
Oh.
だとしたら私はなんて無駄な人生を。
捧げた教授の人生も間違ってない。
Wow. I'm sure he appreciates that a
い
lot.
つか天国で私に聞かせてくれ。真理を。
That was a very cool moment. A very good moment. Beautiful moment. This is a lot more understandable, right? Like, it humanizes the problem, I guess, that even though we have beliefs and other things that might create bias within what we think is the truth, right? It is human to do so, right? It is what drives us, right? So I think it's really cool how they kind of showed that. I don't know, man. It's so beautiful.
宇宙を完成させる。
And this is his motivation, right? He is trying to he is looking at the world. He's decided how he wants to perceive the world and what he wants it to look like, I guess. You could say that, right? Wow, that's super interesting. Super interesting.
地球中心という現状の宇宙論は退けられる。
Oof.
そうだ。そして逆もしかり。満ちた金星が観測できぬなら、地動説など退けられる。
I guess so, yeah.
貴様らこれができれば、当時の私と同程度の視力だと言える。
この距離から瞳の大きさのものなんて。
Me neither. Mine would be completely just cooked. My eyesight is completely cooked. I wear glasses usually.
書かれてるのは右が欠けた半円です。
Huh.
私は部屋
You try to trick him.
金星が出たら呼べ。
Classic, right? That way he doesn't leave it up to luck. Because maybe it's possible that he could have 50-50'd it and ended up just being correct by coincidence, right? So I can understand why he did that.
なんというか、俺はやっぱりそっちの方が事実な気がして。
それはご自身の経験からこの世は苦しみが多いと思うためですか？
Wow, what a read.
私も
Oh,
救い
she
られると思う
empathizes.
ことはあまりない。この世は最低というには魅力的すぎる。荒れ狂う自然や理性のない獣、罪深い人間、そういった悲劇の類の者たちですら、なぜかすべて美しさを備えてる。
That's a very interesting perspective. This is the thing about this show is that the perspectives of the different characters are so different, but it's all very nuanced and it's just so cool to watch.
大地と夜空が一つなら、どんなに怪我してもこの世から輝きは簡単に消えない。
金星が見えるのは
What a way with
3時間程度だ。
words. This woman, this girl.
バデーニさん。ある。だがその場合でも少なくとも私は真理を知れる。不安か。
I guess that's true, right? Like even if they do end up deceiving him or not, doesn't matter because he's also trying to find the truth, right? So this is in actuality, it doesn't matter like if they are trying to be deceitful or not because then they will know the truth, right? No matter what. No matter what. That will always be the truth, right? Even if they lie to him about it.
だから俺が見るものは結果がどちらにせよ。俺は今満ちた金星が見たいってことです。もしよければ期待してください。
I love the dialogue this show. I don't know what it is. I'm getting weirdly emotional, right? Because somebody who's full of like from how we saw him from the beginning, right, to what he just said now. It's, whew, I don't know. It kind of hits you right in the heart, man. That's crazy. He legit asked him, please, hope. That came out of his mouth. It looks full to me. Dang.
満ちてる。きっとそれが何かを知るということだ。
That's cool. I love how he did that. I love how he said that. It's probably what it means to learn. That's how it feels to learn something. Something you didn't know. Something that completely just wasn't in your life. And now it is. It's part of it. It's so cool. It's so cool how it makes me appreciate some of the things that I just never really like cared for or like never really took into consideration, which is just the basic ability to just learn, right? What it means to learn, what it feels to learn, right? What it feels to improve, right? We can talk about like sort of like, oh, it feels good to improve or to learn something new, but like what does it like actually mean, right? Like it feels like it adds more emotion to that aspect, you know. It's very, very cool. Also, I just want to say, I think I randomly remembered this Venus thing that you can sometimes see it, because I remember it was a thing back in high school. I think I remember astronomy club. There was an astronomy club. And I remember hearing some kids talk about going to observe Venus when it was clear, when they could, right? I don't remember though. I think it was just like once during high school. I don't remember though. But this feels kind of reminiscent. I don't know. I sorry for the weird tangent, but yeah. I mean,
貴様らの嘘だ。私を騙しているな。そんな地球が動いている証明にはならない。
yeah, sure.
私の説の方が正しいのだ。
ええ、確かに。
Yeah. What are you saying? Yeah.
貴様らのような若造どもにはわからんのだ。私の歴史も人類の歴史も積み上げられた研究はこんな一瞬で否定して良いものではない。
では。
Oh, I can feel that. I can feel that. Oh, it hits. It really it makes sense what he's saying, but at the same time, it's like if we all of a sudden, you know, like the long question of whether or not we are alone in the universe or not. It is like, what if, you know, scientifically we were proven to us that to the world, like we presented this theory and we were shown all the evidence, and it was almost impossible to argue against the fact that we are actually not alone in the universe. Like, for example, let's say that question was answered, right? That would fundamentally change a lot of things in human society. At least I think so.
個人の都合や信念を軽く超えて究極に無慈悲でそれゆえに平等なそんなものがあるとしたらそれを何と言うと思いますか
Oof, that's a tough question.
それはいつか天国で私に聞かせてくれ。
It's the truth.
真理だ。
Yeah. Ah, man.
資料室の鍵だ。すべてはここに。
Wow. He's not gonna give it to. He's crying. Oh.
この鍵の先に何年分の人生が積み重ねられていると思う。2000年だ。たとえ誤りでも何かを書き留めたことは歴史にとって無意味ではない。そう 願っている。
Wow. Man, that is a lot of emotion. Very strong emotion. Man, this show is so consistently good, man. It's so beautiful. It really is.
屋敷の研究者でもないのにここで作業するわけにはいかない。
Man,
はい。
that seems risky.
そしてヨレンタさんだが、選択は君に任せるが、私としてはできればここで外れてほしい。とはいえ、今回の件は非常に助かった。
I mean, I think she's, given great perspective and really a connection, really, right? That's what she was. She was an intermediary between, these two different, aspects, right? That's what she was. And without her, we wouldn't have been able to get here to this point. So,
オクシー君、資料頼んだぞ。
はい。
bro, he's doing all the hard work. What the heck?
ちょっと前までは俺の人生で文字読める人なんて組合の先輩一人くらいしかいなかったので。
誰にも言いませんか？
はい。
That's weird. Why does she feel so tense about this, actually? This is weird.
文字はまるで奇跡ですよ。本当に文字はすごいんです。あれが使えると時間と場所を超越できる。200年前の情報に涙が流れることも、1000年前の噂話で笑うこともある。そんなの信じられますか？
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, actually. That's very beautiful. I do agree. I've thought about this with words for sure. With just literature. I've thought about this with like even anime, right? Like there's anime has like, if you look back at how animation started, or some of old anime back in in the 90s, for example, right? There's a certain like things that you can see, right? Very cultural, like you can like very cultural like properties that you can notice within these shows, and it's very interesting, right? It is in a way a recording of history, right? In the same way with shows, right? With movies, like you can see a what the culture was like, what the ideology was like during those times, and why it is that they decided to do the things to record what they did, right? To why did they frame movies the way that they did? Why did they frame animes the way that they did? Why did they write things the way that they did, right? It is all a record of humanity, and even the show that I'm watching right now, to me it's a record of humanity, right? Right now we look back at what these people had to do in order to achieve what we consider to be the truth, right? To achieve where we are now, right? And that, to me, this is part of that history, right? Like I don't know. At least that's what I think.
私たちの人生はどうしようもなくこの時代に閉じ込められてる。文字を読むときだけはかつていた偉人たちが私に向かって口を開いてくれる。
Yeah.
その一瞬、この時代から抜け出せる。
I wonder he's gonna pick up writing. Interesting. We just talked about writing. We just talked about records and what that means, and we see this old man who is considered to be a great mind, right? And he's writing down his thoughts. Oh, that's sad. That's very sad.
お話できます。真理を。
Wow. R.I.P. to the old man. Dang. Oh, that's him. The statue. It's the founder, I guess, right? The previous one who we saw in the flashback. This show is I love it, man. I really do. I've already said it too many times, but very beautiful portrayal of how wisdom and inspiration and our beliefs are being passed down, right? It's very, very cool. Very cool. I know a lot of things, like I don't know a lot of these like other theories, for example, or perhaps names. I don't know them. I just, it just goes over my head, but I don't think I really need to know what they mean in order to actually feel what the show is trying to tell me. But yeah. What a show, man. What a show. It keeps being excellent. It keeps being great. And I have no idea, because this show still keeps going, by the way, for like up to 20 something episodes. This show has like 20 something episodes, and I don't know how this is going to keep going, by the way. I don't know. It's kind of scary, but I honestly, like, what are they gonna show me? What are they gonna make me feel? And yeah, it's crazy stuff. But yeah, I've enjoyed our time with the characters that we got at this time. I am very curious how this is going to transition. Like what's the next stuff? But yeah, I don't know. That's it for now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.